everybody, welcome back. Long time no see. Thank you for coming by and checking out this vlog. This is just a bunch of footage that I had from the end of September and most of October. I did not have hardly any time in November to film anything, let alone edit anything together, which is why you're getting this footage in what is now basically the middle of December. I just had a lot going on last month, which is why I was largely absent from pretty much everything social media wise, but things are finally starting to settle down, so I will hopefully be able to get back into the swing of things with making YouTube content on a somewhat regular basis, hopefully. Okay. So this vlog, there was a lot of unnecessary footage that I got rid of for this. So the majority of this is just going to be cat content, comic stuff, and as you can see here, me giving myself a tattoo. Yeah, this was probably the most well-planned impulse I've ever had in my life. I've always wanted tattoos, but I never had the money or the time, or I couldn't settle on a design, or I couldn't find an artist that I liked. And then COVID hit and everything got shut down, so I started looking into doing stick and poke tattoos that I could just do myself. And then sometime around, I think June or July, I finally bit the bullet and I got myself a little kit off of Etsy. And I started diving into research because with just the nature of tattoos in general, I did not want to just rush into it blindly and risk messing up or giving myself an infection or anything like that. So I think I did research on and off for around 2 or 3 weeks before I actually sat down and did the thing, which is what the majority of this footage is me actually just giving myself the tattoo. So the kit that I bought had pretty much all of the materials that I needed. It had the stencil, paper, the ink, all the ointments and everything, gloves, needles, the bandages, just everything. And the only things that I didn't really have on hand that I had to go and get was just literally just antibacterial soap. So the process took, I want to say, about 3.5 hours total. It took me, I'm going to say around a half hour to actually do the stencil and then do the, wow. It took me about a half hour to do the stencil and to let it sit because I had, according to the instructions, I had to let it sit for like 15 minutes or so. And then the actual tattooing process took about 3 hours, which I don't know if you could see it very well in the footage, especially with the janky angle that this is being filmed at. But it was not really large. I guess I would say it's somewhere in between small and medium. I don't know what the general sizing for tattoos are, but it was a good sized tattoo on my ankle. And I did go over it multiple times just to make sure that there was, you know, enough ink to where all of the individual lines would be visible. But yeah, it took me about 3 hours to do the actual tattooing part. And I'm also very happy to say that there haven't been any complications at the time that I am recording this voiceover. It's been about 2.5 months since I did it, so it is, you know, more or less fully healed at this point. It was very interesting the first couple days getting used to, you know, having this area of skin that I couldn't do anything with because the tattoo was still healing. But yeah, the healing process went smoothly, no complications, nothing went wrong. Very happy about that. And yeah, so this footage is just the 3 hours that it took me to actually do the tattoo sped up quite a bit, obviously, which is why it's, just part of this little 20-minute vlog. But yeah, so that was something that I did at the end of September. I was going to make an entire video about the tattoo and like the process and everything on its own. Obviously, I never got around to that. So there's just this footage that you get to see right now. And then this is like honestly just like the first like 7 minutes or so of the vlog is this. And then we get into some like cat content, and I will be talking about some Saffron Wave stuff later in the video too. So I'm going to stop talking and let you just enjoy the music and everything, and we'll just go from there. only had those for an hour. Do you like the smell of new books? Is that it? So just to kind of show you what we're working with here, using this this like page formatter thingy has been super helpful. But yeah, here are the redone pages. I have turned off all the dialogue so you can't read it. You can see some of my notes in a lot of these. There's Mia. Hi. Yeah, so I've turned off all the dialogue so you can't read that because it's kind of spoilery. But also not really because it's still setting up the story, if that makes sense. Yeah, my god. Yeah, so I'm just going to be working on the sketches mostly. I'm not going to bother myself with inking or anything like that. I want to get the sketches done so they're not just, you know, bodies with circular heads. Especially because this is an opportunity to like design and or redesign some characters. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. And obviously, like for some pages and some panels, I have my notes here, like just reuse the existing panel, reuse the existing panels. Because the original pages aren't necessarily bad in terms of the art and the way like the panel flow and everything is set up. It's just they don't really do a good job of setting up the story. Because when I originally drew them, I was not planning on posting them, which I will get into more in my little like overview video of my 2 years working on this webcomic, which hopefully I will be able to get out sooner rather than later. But yes, I'll go into a bit more detail in that video about why I'm redoing these pages in particular and why I don't like the original ones. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm also redoing my outro again for the 5 bazillionth time because I just am never happy with it apparently. I got a new desk chair. It's great. It's super comfy. I love it. This is my old chair right here, this pink one. I feel like sitting on concrete is more comfortable than sitting on this thing now. Because I've had this one since like 2016 or something, so there's no padding in it. So I got a new one, put that together the other day. There's Mia, being perfect as always. Okay. Hi. So I want to talk a bit about what exactly I'm doing with these pages for the redo for chapter 1. Because I've been talking about them, but have not actually like been explaining what I've been doing. So the first pages from chapter 1 weren't bad necessarily in terms of the art. The majority of the panels with Eris in them are reused panels from the original pages. Because again, the art was solid. It was the writing that I didn't vibe with and that people were struggling with when they would read the comic. So I've gone and I've restructured all of the pages, I've rewritten everything, and it's a lot better. It reads a lot more clearly now. And so what I've been doing is I've just been going, hi Nori. Oops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. There we go. Alright, so I've been going and just taking the panels from the previous pages and pasting them into the new ones. And then also, the original pages that I drew were in a different format from the format that I've been using for the majority of the comic so far, so that's another reason why I wanted to redo it. Yeah, so for the most part, the existing art that is now complete on the pages are from the old pages that's been done for the most part for a while. This page is another example. Like, the art necessarily wasn't bad on this page, so I was able to reuse most of the panels. I only have this one down here that I want to redraw. Aside from making a few other little tweaks in the other panels. So I've been able to reuse the art, and then I've gone and just added in some new stuff that better fits with the pacing. Like this little panel right here was new, but this one was reused from an existing page, and I just added some stuff to it. And then in this page, this was a new panel that I ended up drawing. This page, this panel, was a new panel that needed to be drawn. But for the most part, I've been able to reuse everything. And this page is a good example too. This is a panel that I really liked from the original with Hecate. So I was able to reuse it, and I just updated it a bit. I changed the color of her hair, and then I added in this texture that is representative of Eris within the comic. And then I added this little background for that panel next to it. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And then as you can see with this like folio, whoops, with this like folio page formatting thing that Clip Studio is letting me do, hi Mia, I'm better able to see like the color story of all the pages now, so that I can make sure everything is consistent across. Hi. Yeah, I'm trying to do stuff. God. So I can make sure that the colors for everything are consistent throughout the pages, especially with Eris, who has such a distinct color palette that I've been using. Hi. Hi, baby. So this also helps so that I can make sure that the colors and everything match up from page to page. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I have gone and pasted in all the old art that I was reusing and added in the new panels for Eris, because I was working with those colors and everything already, so I figured I would just go and draw the new panels as well. And now I just need to go and do all of the entirely new art. So yeah, that's been my process for these pages. It's been a lot of fun, and it's really cool seeing everything laid out like this. So yeah. And then real quick, another thing I decided to do rather spontaneously was to change how I set up, how I indicate which characters belong in which different like realm that's happening in these opening pages. And so this page is a good example. This bottom panel has, you know, a still shot of Nepheli, and it's got this very solid black border. And then these panels up here, where the gods are talking, has this kind of like sparkly, colorful border to show that they're like separate from everything else, because Nepheli is on Earth. She's very grounded. It's got a solid black border. And so the gods, since they're, you know, on, you know, Mount Olympus, you know, sort of disconnected from the real world, they have this, you know, colored, sparkly looking panel borders. And then Eris, because what she's doing is happening like in the background, sort of, with everything, her panels don't have any border, and it just bleeds into everything else. Which you can definitely see it better on some of the other pages like this one and this one. So I don't know. I just thought that was a really cool and, visually interesting way to see the three different, like, setting perspectives that are taking place in these opening pages. And I just thought it was a good way to, like, draw the divide between, okay, here's Nefeli on Earth. She's got her black borders. Here are the gods on Mount Olympus. And their, alternate dimension, realm, whatever it is, they have their own indicative border. And then Eris is behind the scenes doing her thing, and her panels don't have any borders, and everything bleeds into everything else. So, yeah. It's been a lot of fun working on this and, like, experimenting with this stuff.